Good morning. Hi, Mama. Oh, wow. Good morning. Happy freaking Saturday. Oh, my word. I am so happy that this week is over. So happy. I am Shanna Pizer from Fulfilled Life Coaching, and I have challenged myself to go live for 30 days. This is day 23, and it has been a challenge. I just come on and share randomly whatever is on my mind, and most of the time I don't even know what I'm going to say before it comes out my mouth, which in general that's how I operate. I am a full-time high school counselor, and we started back to school this week. Well, the kids started back to school this week, and it has been very interesting, and it has been difficult and challenging and frustrating, but also I've heard some really cool responses from the kids. I did one of our teachers, and I'm sure way more than just one of our teachers, like, she was so brave, and she responded to an email to all staff that she just couldn't do her advisory class on Friday. Like, she couldn't do it. She didn't have it in her. It was too much. And so I was like, I've got you. I will do your advisory class. Don't worry about it. And so I got all the stuff set up for the advisory class, and she actually joined the class, so that was really cool. And we had 14 kids in there, and it was a junior advisory class, so 11th graders, and not very many kids engaged, let's be honest. But this one, one kid specifically, I asked them, like, does anybody want to share like a struggle that you've had during this time, or a win, like what's something that has gone well during this time? And this 11th grade boy said, I love you, Mama. This 11th grade boy said that his win was he has gotten organized. And at first he was sitting around just doing nothing, wasting his time, and like feeling guilty about it. And so he put himself on a schedule, and he started moving his body and like setting goals and accomplishing things, and felt really good about that. And that, like, holy cow, I didn't expect anybody to say anything like that, because that is speaking my language. And then one girl, it was so sad. She said that it's been really hard because her parents are going through a divorce, and they're a Christian family. And I was just like, oh, that is so hard, because I can't even imagine, like, if her parents, and I don't know, like, what phase they're in or whatever, but, like, she's stuck at home, and her parents are either fighting or silent, and there's probably tension in the house, and, like, she has nowhere to go and no outlet. So that just, it just got me. And I sent out a form for the kids to respond to take attendance, and asked what they're most proud of. And it's fun reading responses. And some of them are, whatever. But some, like the kids in those type of surveys where they know you're the only one that sees it, like, they're honest, and it's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I ended my very difficult, stressful week on a pretty good note, having that advisory class and like getting face-to-face interaction with the students was really fun. And helping the teacher was nice because, oh my word, my heart just like hurt for her. And I was so proud of her. And I told her, and she felt terrible. Like her words were, I feel like this is a dereliction of my duties. I was like, no, Becky, I'm sorry I can't because science is not my thing. But I will gladly like get on and chat with your kids, but no science. I'll talk about neuroplasticity. Does that work? Are you still in middle school? Oh, those middle school kids. But I just like it really. So I told her, like, I'm so proud of you for reaching out for help. Like, that's what we need to do. When we are struggling, when we need help, reach out, ask for help. She, like, I'm sure she was mortified, but she was at the end of her rope. She really felt like she had, like, I can't do this. So and I told her, like, I told her over and over and over again, reach out for help. If you need help, ask for help. That's what we're trying to teach these kids. When you need help, ask for it. Communicate what you need. And even if you need something, but you like don't even know what it is. Like sometimes, you just like, I just don't even know. I'm struggling and I just don't know. I love you too, Stacy. Go look at M&T Design Co. that just said, love you, Auntie. Click on that because she is amazing and so freaking talented. Oh my gosh. Her art is beautiful and she has a crazy awesome testimony. So go check her out. We need to ask for help. And the thing is, it's so interesting. We equate asking for help with weakness, and like that feels like that's a weak thing. Like I don't want to show my weakness by asking for help. And let me tell you, I am an Enneagram 8 and I am all about strength and being able to push through and get things done. But it takes strength. It takes more strength to ask for help than to not ask for help. Like it's, in a way, it's easier to just suffer through it and be miserable. But really that is a place of weakness. The strength is in reaching out and asking for help. Just like, and I've had this conversation with kids too, when we get angry and lash out and sit in our anger, that feels powerful and strong. Yes, oh my gosh, I love that, Stacy. Oh my word, that makes me want to cry. When we are, that anger feels like a powerful emotion, but really underneath anger, anytime we're angry about anything, there's an underlying emotion. We are sad, we're hurt, we're frustrated, but we don't know how to handle those emotions. Those emotions feel weak. They feel powerless. So instead of allowing ourselves to explore those and feel those and reach out of those emotions that feel weak to us, we lash out in anger, which feels powerful and strong. But really, if you think about it, reaching out of the sadness or hurt or confusion or whatever the underlying emotion is, and reaching out honestly with that emotion, like saying, instead of lashing out like, you're such a jerk, you're so rude, you whatever, if we said, wow, when you said that, like that really hurt my feelings and made me like feel bad. How much more, number one, strength does it take and like vulnerability to express yourself that way than just lashing out instantaneously out of anger. Like that's our first reaction, anger. But if we really think about it and sit with and think about the emotion that's underneath, expressing that emotion shows so much more strength, and it feels so much harder, which means that it takes more strength to do. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all, but that just like, whoa, went on a whole thing. I told you, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about until I talk about it. And I went from a teacher sending an email to I don't even know what. But yes, Stacy, ask for help. It takes, like with anything else, any other, it's a skill, it's a practice. And if we start practicing in the small things, then it's going to build our strength to be able to do it when it's a big thing. Asking for help when, I don't know. What's a small thing that you ask for help for? Getting a can off a shelf. Like somebody in the house is taller than you, like ask for help. Don't, scale cabinets to get it. Ask for help. Little things, find little ways. If asking for help is hard for you and it's something that you struggle with, look for little things to ask for help for. And that was another thing that I said to the kids yesterday, talking about asking for help, is I love to help people. Like, I love it. And if I don't know that there's somebody next to me or that I know that could use help, that needs help, that has an area that I could be helpful in, there's nothing I can do. But if I know that you need help and I'm available and able to help you, or I know somebody else that is, like, I'm all about that. I'm all in. That lights my fire, that lights me up, and that makes me so excited. But if I don't know that you need help, there's nothing I can do. So you asking for help when you need it ignites somebody else and allows them to do what they've been gifted to do, and it provides an opportunity for them, and it strengthens you and grows your ability to reach out and ask, and you get your needs met. And it's I don't know, this symbiotic relationship. Is that, I don't even know if that's real. Yin and yang. It's like, it's how everything works. If there's a need, there is something or someone that is going to be there to meet that need. There is always an answer to a question. So yeah, I encourage you to reach out for help. If that's something that you struggle with, create create things that you need help with. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, Becky. And I am so with you. Like I said, I don't know if you guys are into the Enneagram. I am an Enneagram 8. I do not want to show vulnerability. I do not want to show weakness. I get irritated when I feel weak, when I experience those kinds of emotions. But again, like I said, reaching out for help is a strength. That's a strength in showing that you need other people, and other people need us to need them. Like, and not in a codependent way. I am not about being codependent, but yes, yep. Like, so, like, say your spouse, your husband, if you are always the strong one, you always can be able to do the things, then he doesn't feel needed. I'm trying to, oh my gosh, I know my husband, when, when I ask him for help with something, sometimes he's like, whatever. But I am a very strong, capable person. I can do all the things. I can figure anything out. And I, like, it sounds horrible to say, but like, I don't really need that sounds so terrible. But it's true. I'm an Enneagram 8. Like, I could live happily by myself and I could take care of everything. So when there is something that I need, that provides opportunity for my husband to show up and be there for me and support me. So me asking for help or support or encouragement or whatever is super hard for me because that makes me feel weak, but it takes strength for me to show that need, to verbalize that need, to ask for what I need takes strength because it's so hard to do. And I have to, like I said, create ways that some people would think it sounds terrible. It feels terrible to say. But sometimes I have to make myself ask for help. Like, yeah, I could do this. Yeah, I could figure this out, but how about I give somebody else an opportunity to step up and do this? And to have other people see you asking for help. And and then a whole nother can of worms gets opened up, is how we expect people to show up for us, but we don't verbalize that. And we have this expectation in our mind, like, well, they should just know to do that. I shouldn't have to ask for help. If you don't verbalize and express what you need, do not expect that anybody is going to show up and meet that need. And that's, again, practicing speaking up, practicing asking for help, asking for what you need is so important for you to build that skill and that strength. But for other people, because if they don't know what you need, they can't help you. If your husband doesn't know that you expect him to insert whatever expectation you have of your husband, he doesn't know. And we assume that, oh my gosh, he just doesn't care because he's not doing that. And he knows I want him to do that. He knows I expect him to do that. He's sitting over there thinking about football, or I don't know what crazy stuff dudes think about, but he is not thinking about, she probably is expecting me to wash the dishes that I left in the sink. But I'm not going to do that because I just want to irritate her. Like, he's not thinking that. But if you set the expectation, I put oil on my face, so I'm shiny. Yeah, I feel that, Becky. I feel that. Yeah, and then when you ask and when they don't do what you ask them to do, and that's and and that's on them. That, like, if you have taken the step to ask for what you need, or what you want, and then what's their response? Is it, yeah, I'll get to it, and in their mind they're going to get to it at some point but not on your time frame? Or are they just straight up, no, I'm not going to do that, that's not something I agree to do? Like, that's a whole nother thing. But for you doing the asking, like, that's building strength in you, and it's just for you. It's not for him. It's for you to work on building that muscle of asking for help, of expressing what your expectations are, expressing what you need, and then working on how he responds and or doesn't respond, or do or doesn't do. Like, that's a whole nother can of worms. But it, like, that's, and can I just tell you that in my coaching and with the self-coaching model, I don't know if you've watched any of the videos that I've done about that, but if you listen to the Brooke Castillo podcast, it's the Life Coach School podcast, any of her podcasts that are about the model. So basically, this is going to get deep. Basically, anything that anybody else says, like explicitly says, anything that anybody else does, is a circumstance. And anything that anybody else says or does doesn't impact you. It really doesn't have an effect on you. It's what you think. It's your thoughts about what that person said or did that impacts you. Like, other people's actions, other people's words, any circumstance in the world is just a neutral thing. It doesn't impact you at all. Your husband, even if he says something terrible to you, like something terrible that, you hurt my feelings, I can't believe you said that to me, like that kind of thing. Basically, your husband said words, and the thought and the opinion that you have about the words that he said, that's what creates the feeling in you, and that's what leads to actions that you take, or inaction, what you do or what you don't do, because of how you think about the words that he said. So it could be that you, whatever the words he said, your thoughts are, he shouldn't talk to me that way, and you feel resentment, and you, what do? You ignore him, you avoid him, and that leads to, so your actions are avoidance and resentment, and that creates a result of what? Distance, disconnection, go shopping, yeah, which is avoiding, right? And buffering the feelings. He could say something horribly, terrible to you, and you could think, wow, eat chocolate, yes, more buffering, more avoiding, yes. He could say something horribly terrible to you, and you could choose to think, wow, he must silent treatment. Oh, yes, mom. Yes, mom. I don't know where I got that. Huh, interesting. Just kidding. Text, yes, yeah, yeah. Which just creates more of an issue. So instead, you could, like, what's something else that you could choose to think when your husband says something horribly hurtful, what you think is hurtful to you? Wow, there must be something going on with him. I wonder what's wrong with him. I wonder what, you know, what's going on in his mind that is creating this response in him, which could create a feeling of curiosity, compassion, and you act in a completely different way. You could seek to understand where he's coming from, which again, like, that's the harder road, right? It's so much easier to go shopping, eat chocolate, text your mom, and you feel justified in all of the things that you're saying about him because he was so rude to you. And you can't even believe he said those things to you and they were so horrible and he's a horrible husband and blah, 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 blah. That's so much easier than to seek to understand and be curious about what's going on with him. And, like, don't take on those words. If he's calling you names or saying mean things to you, like, that's neutral. That's him. That's not you. That's what's going on in his mind and his heart and his life. You have to separate it. That's just a circumstance. What am I going to think about those things? What can I think about what he said and what he did? And then you get to decide. Then you have the power. Anything he says or does it doesn't have power over you. And I'm like, that's just an example. Anything, any circumstance out in the world has no power over you, which is like mind-blowing, because there is nothing that can happen in the world that can create any feeling in me. It's what I think about it. I mean, COVID, and not COVID as a disease, like, people are hurting. There are so many negative things that have been created because of that, and so many people that have suffered. So it's not like, it's a weird kind of thing, but with the stay-at-home order, having to self-quarantine and all of that stuff, like, there are some people that hate it and are miserable, and like, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. And I have some of those friends. So the circumstance is pandemic and, like, the stay-at-home order. People are expected to be at home. We can't go to work. Like, very factual stuff. Some people are completely miserable and have thoughts that this sucks, it's terrible, I want to go back to work, I hate this. And I have thoughts, I love being at home, I would be so happy to never have to go back to my office again. I love this. I have been able to accomplish so many things. Like, this has been great. Not the disease, not that people are suffering. Like, that's, I get that, and that is horrible and heartbreaking to me. But just the fact of staying home. I'm an introvert. I love to be at home. I've been working on building my business, and I have been able to like take classes and learn new things. And so for me, my thoughts about it is this has been such a great opportunity, but other people don't feel that way. Same circumstance, same thing happening in the world, same exact, different thoughts. And those different thoughts create feelings, which drive actions, which create results. So people that are miserable and hating it, they're feeling frustrated, hopeless, defeated, angry, and the actions. That is true, Becky. 100%. 100%. Like, if my kids were still in school, different story. It could be a completely different story. I feel that, yes. And again, like, that's my thoughts. My thoughts are, this is great. Your thoughts are, holy crap, I'm stuck at home with kids and a mother-in-law. And so our circumstances are different, right? I'm basically alone 98% of the time, except for when I'm sleeping. But you get the idea. So it's very interesting, the self-coaching model. And that is the premise that I do my coaching from, is there are circumstances in the world, there are circumstances in your home. That's why my thoughts are so good about it. There are circumstances that are just neutral. They're not good, they're not bad, they just are. It's the thoughts that you have about them that create the positive and negative feelings, which are 50-50. Half the time we're going to feel positive feelings, half the time we're going to feel negative feelings. Feelings are feelings. They're not good or bad. They just are. You feel what you feel. Accept that. You can change what you think to change how you feel. It's a whole thing, and it's amazing. It's life-changing. It's freeing. It's empowering. It's just all the things. It's amazing. And Becky, yes, I kind of love it. I do have kids at home. I just want to put that out there. I do have adult sons at home that are 20 and 22. My oldest son is hardly ever here. He's kind of in and out. And my youngest son is always in his bedroom playing freaking video games. I love you, B. I think he follows me, but he would never watch a video, so. But my youngest son is going into the Navy in, I guess, mid-November. We'll see if that happens. I do not know. So there are people here, so there are like messes that get left around and stuff, but that's a whole nother thing, whatever. So anyway, I have been on here for a very long time, which I did not expect, but I love that like people are watching and interacting. That makes me so happy. So thank you guys so much. Okay, I have my plan made for the day. I have started watching, I don't know if you guys have watched this show on Netflix called Get Organized with the home edit or the house edit. I think it's the home edit. Oh my gosh. So today on my to-do list is to organize all my pantry stuff and like switch up my kitchen some because it's horrendous. But if you have not watched Get Organized on Netflix with the home edit ladies, oh my gosh, so good. So, so good. I love it. Stacy, you changed accounts. You're funny. So, yes. Okay, what are our lessons for today? Practice asking for help. And if it's hard to ask for help on the big things, then find some little things to ask for help on and do it deliberately. Voice your expectations of others. Make them clear so that they know what you expect of them. What other lessons did we learn today? Your circumstances do not create your feelings or your results or your actions. What you think about your circumstances leads to how you feel, which drives how you act, which creates your results. What else? School is hard and frustrating, but it's all good. And that's like, we literally are all in this together. It is a freaking High School Musical song. We are all doing the best we can. We are all figuring this out. We've never been in the situation that we're in, and we are amazing, so it's going to be okay. We're going to figure it out. So be kind to you and be kind to those around you because they're all experiencing all the things too. Okay. I love you guys, especially you three ladies that are watching right now. I love you so much. Heart, I don't know. Heart. Have an amazing weekend and ask somebody for help. And I would love to hear about who you asked for help and what it was, because that takes a strong person, especially for us strong people. It takes more strength to ask for help than it does to sit in our irritation that nobody's helping us. I love you, ladies. Have a good day.